Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 216. BYD is targeting Toyota and Volkswagen in new campaign, and we see Tesla's full self-driving making some human-level behaviors. And Tesla is opening up full self-driving for everyone to try. And Volkswagen also want to make autonomous vehicle test drive by the end of this year. And Barra is once again out saying that 2024 is the year of executing. And Volvo says goodbye to diesel. And Grok 2, according to Elon, should exceed current AI on all metrics. And the Chinese-made electric vehicles should capture a quarter of Europe's EV market this year. And Tesla hits a lot of huge milestones this week. All of this and much more on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
BYD is targeting Toyota and Volkswagen with latest price cuts in China. BYD is currently discounting almost every electric and hybrid model it sells as a part of a marketing campaign declaring electricity is cheaper than oil. Amen to that. BYD has set the sight on luring customers away from the likes of Toyota and Volkswagen in one of the most aggressive round of discounts seen in the Chinese price war. The strategy is a threat to Toyota and Volkswagen and Nissan, which have all been slow to transition to EVs and seen their Chinese sales suffer as a result. This is round 2 of the price war, said Bill Rosso, founder and chief executive officer at Shanghai's based consultancy Automobility. BYD is using the margin advantage to attack the market. If I got more chips in my stack on the poker table, then I'm going to try to bully that person off the table, Bill also said. So it really seems like BYD will try to hurt the old legacy automakers while they are down for the count with the weak demand for their EVs in China, and see if they can push them out completely from the Chinese market. BYD is now offering the BYD Seagull below $10,000 in China. So now that car is more than half the price in China than the Toyota Aygo. And then true cost of ownership taken into calculation with no service appointment and being able to charge overnight, well, there should not be anyone left with a brain in China that should buy the Aygo over the Seagull. It just doesn't make any sense anymore in China. BYD is really doing what the CEO said they would do last year, try to annihilate the old legacy automakers, and it seems like the old guys are about to lose China altogether. And at the same time, they're coming to Europe and the rest of Asia. BYD began the construction of their car factory in Thailand on March the 10th, 2023, and this factory is set to start production in 2024 with an annual capacity of around 150,000 vehicles. And it seems like that factory is already producing some cars at the site. This initiative represents a significant step in BYD's expansion into the Asia-Pacific market, aligning with Thailand's goal of becoming a hub for electric vehicle production and distribution in Southeast Asia and beyond. While BYD is also working on getting a factory up and running in Hungary in Europe, so it seems like it will be a real possibility that they could have that factory up and producing sometime during 2025 with the speed we have seen them get the Thailand factory up and running. So it really seems like BYD is taking aim at the old legacy automakers and will try to throw them out of China and take them on their home turf in Europe. Let's see if the old guys have any counter move against this. And I am right now having some fun learning a bit of Spanish and Babbel. The sponsor of this video has over 160 hours of Spanish lesson, culture content and game to help you understand the culture through language. So this also makes it more than just a language learning app. You also learn about the culture of the language and is made fun with small games like the game Sing or Spell. Makes the learning experience much more fun, and you can even mix it up with an online course if you prefer to learn with others as well. And you can make it fit your needs and time schedule. If you only want to spend 30 minutes a week or more than 4 hours a week, that's all up to you. And you can of course choose if you already know some of the language or a complete beginner like me. You can set it all up and match you and your preference. And 75% of Babel's users accomplish their goal. Their method is backed by research at Yale University. And Babel is scientifically proven to help you start speaking a new language in 3 weeks. And that is why Babel offers a 20-day money-back guaranteed. So that's pretty cool. And with Babel language recognition software, it can even hear what you're saying and if you're saying it correctly. Gracias. And I personally like to take a break from work and do a quick course or play a little game to get some learning in during the week. But as we all know, hearing a language is always a good way of learning it, and that is why you can also listen to podcasts through Babel in the language you want to learn, or even dive deeper with Babel magazine, exploring articles on language, learning and culture. So much good stuff within Babel to learn a language and its culture. So click my link in the description below to get 60% off your subscription and start learning a new language today. And a big thank you to Babel for sponsoring this video. Adios. Full Self-Driving version 12 continues to impress, and now Elon seems confident enough to get it out to more people so everyone can see just how far Tesla is on full self-driving. So, as he wrote in an email, going forward it is mandatory in North America to install and activate Full Self-Driving version 12.3.1 and take customers on a short test ride before handing over the car. Almost no one actually realizes how well supervised Full Self-Driving actually works. I know this will slow down the delivery process, but it is nonetheless a hard requirement. I think this is a brilliant idea. As Elon says, most people have no clue how well Full Self-Driving version 12 works, and we need to show the world. And Elon is taking it a step further, as he wrote on X. All US cars that are capable of Full Self-Driving will be enabled for 1 month trial this week. This is a lot of cars that will get Full Self-Driving beta version 12, as there should be something like 2 million Teslas in the US, so maybe half of them are able to get Full Self-Driving beta, I don't know, but this is still like 1 million owners that will have access to this mind-blowing technology and talk about it with their friends, or even take their friends on a test drive as well. And I personally think this is exactly the kind of things that is needed from Tesla to get more people to buy the Full Self-Driving package, get everyone that test drive one to try it out, and give the owner a 1 month free trial. This should not only get more people to buy the software and get the take rate up and bring in almost pure profit to Tesla's bottom line, but it should also get the information out to more people on how well Tesla is doing on Full Self-Driving. And apparently it is not only at the deliveries, but also cars returning from service, as he wrote in a later email. So Elon really wants people to try this new software out, and understandably so, as even people that have tried version 11 before are pretty blown away about how good this software is. So just think how mind-blowing this will be for someone that has never tried it before when they come just to test drive a Tesla. And then afterward, test driving something like an ID3 or an ID4, they are going to feel like absolutely dinosaurs. But the ID4 in the US cost basically the same as the Model Y, but it's hard to even compare these cars, as one is a fun high-tech machine that can rip your face off, and the other is an old school slow car without any fun or even a frunk. And then you experience Full Self-Driving version 12 on top of that. Yeah, this could be a big blow to the old guys, as they have no counter move for this. They can't give out a free trial of their Full Self-Driving software, as they don't have it. All they can do is just watch this play out. And we continue every week to see Full Self-Driving version 12 pull off some incredible moves like this one with roadworks, and it just handled it like a champ. And as Patel from Tesla wrote on X that he thinks everyone should try out the free trial, as he wrote, yes, I think you would buy or subscribe after the trial, but even for those who don't, It's inspiring to just experience the foundational AI progress. And if you don't think this is AI but just some programming, I think we saw the best example this week of intelligence in action from AI Driver on X, where Tesla's AI ignored the navigation because it didn't make sense and made a decision on its own to make a better route. Check this one out.
And then a U-turn, and then it's like, this is all jacked up. So let's go ahead and see. Let's see what happens up here. The other angle to this is that this is, oh, it's ignoring it. It's ignoring the navigation route. It's not going to do the U-turn. What? Holy crap. Okay, that was pretty wild. That was actually... Oh, there's a car approaching from... It went to a parking spot. Oh my God. Okay, that is actually insane. I will show you. I'm going to go back. Will you go back to the other thing? It didn't do all that. It just ignored it and pulled straight into the parking lot. That is insane. That is absolutely insane.
But Tesla is not the only one with big plans for autonomous this year. Volkswagen, with its new partnership with Mobileye, also wants to start some real-world testing by the end of this year. Volkswagen's commercial vehicle boss Carsten Instra announced, "We want to offer test drive for customers in Hamburg before the end of this year, under real conditions. The plan is to start in the second half of this year. Initially, it will be trail runs with selected users. In 2 years, the service should then go into regular operation at the group's subsidiary MOIA." So Volkswagen don't seem to have a plan of selling any autonomous vehicles, but only use them as robotaxis, as we have seen with Cruise and Waymo. So let's see how that will go. But Elon also wrote as a reply to Alex's post about Volkswagen and Mobileye on X, "Most people still have no idea how crushingly good Tesla's full self-driving will get. It will be superhuman in such a degree that it will seem strange in the future that human drove cars, even while exhausted or drunk. Cars will take you from where you want automatically, just like getting into an elevator and pressing the button, something that also used to be manual." Yes, I truly think people have no idea of what is about to happen, and that we are actually at this tipping point this year. As Brad Gerstner said, Tesla already had that ChatGPT moment with version 12. People just don't know it yet, and that is why he is so bullish on the stock.
But Tesla, kind of when everybody else was asleep, launched full self-driving 12. This was their new generation of self-driving model on their car. I described it on Twitter as when I took a test ride in it as kind of a ChatGPT moment. In fact, I think Michael Dell said something similar on Twitter. Why is that? Because they totally scrapped their prior deterministic models and have moved to an imitation learning model that really, for the first time, unlike Waymo, which is still a deterministic model, feels like a human driving the car. So I think they're making massive progress at an accelerating rate on FSD 12. He's now pushed that out for free to all Tesla owners so that they get to sample, see what it feels like. If a meaningful, or even just a small percentage of those agree to pay him $200 a month for FSD 12, all of a sudden this goes from razors to razor blades, right? Where people are paying for services. Think about that services transition at Apple that occurred in 2015, 2016, and it's the type of thing that other people can't easily copy. He's got 5 million robot cars on the road collecting data that's training this imitation model that makes it demonstrably better and almost impossible for all the traditional OEMs to replicate.
Yep, 2024 will be a year to remember, a true tipping point of AI, and most people have no idea what is coming. And GM's Barra is out saying that 2024 is the year of executing.
2024 is really a critical year because this is a year of execution. And we really, we need to demonstrate, and, we're on track now. We had some challenges last year with building battery modules to put into the packs. We're on our ramp plan now. I'm really proud of how hard the team has worked. So this is a critical year, also a critical year for software. We have really brought in a new software team from Silicon Valley last year, and they've made a lot of change to improve how we develop software, to improve how we validate software. So this is definitely a year of execution, but I'm confident the team can do it, and I'm excited to show the world what we can do.
We have heard say that before earlier this year, but I do agree with Mary that 2024 is a very important year for GM, as they have slipped on basically all their EV promises so far. We didn't get our 18 EV models in 2022 as promised, and we are nowhere near getting to that 400,000 EV units produced in 2023 or 2024. And catching up to Tesla next year, I think everyone knew that was just a pipe dream, or basically a lie. But I do think 2024 is going to be a year if GM does not show execution on their EV production. I think investors will lose their belief in them being part of the EV future, as they seem unable to ramp up EV production. Because Mary might say that 2024 is the year of execution, but that is really just the same headline, but with a different word from last year. Remember how Mary Barra also said in the beginning of 2023 how that was going to be the breakout year for GM and their EVs. As she also said, I know this is our breakout year because of the products we have and the demand we see. And then they started to cut back on EV production later that year because of weak EV demand. A breakout year in 2023? Well, in Q4 of 2022, GM delivered 16,300 EVs, and after a whole year of breakout in 2023, they delivered in Q4 2023 19,500 units. So a breakout year resulted in a growth year over year in Q4 of about 3,000 units. Wow, what a breakout performance they did. But of course, Mary knew they would do it. It was not a question of if. But Mary Barra will do what Mary Barra does best. Continue coming up with new great plans and pushing back their EV productions. As you probably remember, from the beginning of 2023, Mary Barra did push back GM's previously announced 400,000 EV production target to early 2024 rather than late 2023 as originally intended. And let's see when they will actually get to that number. I find it hard to believe even for 2024 at all. So I agree with Mary. 2024 is a very important year for GM, because if they don't execute in 2024 and show some real progress in EV sales, I think investors' patience will run out, and the house of cards built on all Mary's broken promises will truly start to collapse. And I squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla shorts. Volvo is done with diesel. The automaker's 45 years relationship with the powertrain, which announced for half of its global sales between 2012 and 2016, came to an end on Tuesday, March 26. The future for Volvo is all electric. And XAI will release Croc 1.5, coming soon to X users, as Elon also wrote on X. Should be available on X next week, but he also said Croc 2 should exceed current AI on all matrix in training now. Now, that sounds very promising, but let's see when that will come out. And Audi's CEO Döllner plans to overtake BMW, Mercedes and the Chinese rivals in the tech race. Well, they also said they will catch up to Tesla with 7-mile boots, but that clearly didn't happen either. So let's see if they can do that, as so far the software in the Audi e-tron has been less than impressive. But Audi will also get vehicles developed with Volkswagen Group's software-defined vehicle hub I talked about before, but this will not be ready before 2027 or 2028, and the software is being developed under the leadership of Carrot. The Volkswagen Volkswagen brand and Audi are each developing a vehicle that will be in similar segment to maximize synergies. It's easy to sum up what we are planning to do here. 3 partners, 2 vehicles, 1 team and 1 software stack under one roof. That's the idea. So let's see if Chery can redeem themselves after the first disaster with their software for the Volkswagen Group. And NIO lowered its forecast for its first quarter deliveries on Wednesday as it grapples with slowing demand and a price war in China. NIO expects to deliver around 30,000 vehicles in the first quarter of 2024, compared with the previous forecast of 31 to 33,000. The company had delivered 31,000 vehicles in Q1 of last year, so NIO is not really ramping up after a whole year. They are actually looking to be down compared to last year. So that is not so good news for a company that only delivers about 30,000 vehicles a quarter. Tesla might also be close to their Q1 numbers from last year, with the shutdown of the Berlin factory for a couple of weeks and the refresh being ramped in both Shanghai and Fremont. So Tesla might only come in with something like 440 to 460,000 units or something like that in Q1, with all the headwinds we have seen this quarter. So that will be very close to their 440,000 units delivered in Q1 of 2023. But compared to NIO, Tesla is delivering more than 14 times as many units, so they are at very different places in the ramp of the companies. And Tesla did just get their car number 6 million produced. So we know that from September the 17th until March the 29th, Tesla has produced 1 million cars. So that is almost exactly 6 months. And in October, November, December, Tesla did produce 495,000 units. So it seems like Tesla might just make a nice surprise here in Q1 after all, as it seems like Tesla will be very close to the 500,000 units produced in Q1 anyway. And Wall Street is expecting something like 475,000 units delivered, and I have seen as low predictions as 430,000. So they could be way off, as production seems to be much higher than most people think. So Tesla should be able to keep deliveries going, also because they of course have close to 100,000 units in transit. So even if the production is down a couple of weeks, they should be able to get the cars out they need this quarter, but we will see very soon. But I think they will be very close to the Q4 numbers of last year, which I think will be a very nice surprise if that's the case, with all the headwinds we have seen this quarter. And Chinese-made electric vehicles will capture a quarter of Europe's EV market this year, up from 19.5% in 2023, despite tariffs the European Union is likely to levy on such EVs, the European Federation for Transport and Environment said in a report. Hiking the tariffs on EVs built in China to the level of 25% would make mid-size sedan and SUV more expensive than corresponding European models, but compact SUVs and large cars from China will still be slightly cheaper, the group said. So it looks like it is expected that the Chinese will gain more market share in 2024 in Europe despite higher tariffs. Doesn't look like the Chinese tsunami can be stopped. And while we are waiting for the launch of the new Tesla Model 3 Performance, more details about the electric sedan has leaked after some gained unauthorized access to the test vehicle in Florida. Among these are that there will be a ludicrous badge on the menu, and also 3 acceleration modes were discovered, the usual chill and sport, but the new insane mode has been added. Another new feature is auto shift between drive and reverse. This is an extension of the typical auto shift out of park, in which the car will now automatically shift between forward and reverse when not in park. This will make multi-point turns significantly easier than the current method, which is required the driver to swipe up and down on the main screen to switch gear during such maneuvers. Can't wait to see how well this will work. Hope I will get a chance to test it out from Tesla. And the Cybertruck has officially been called the badass mom vehicle.
Here's why the Cybertruck is the perfect mom and family car. First of all, huge back trunk. I can fit like 3 more strollers. With the tonneau cover, you never have to worry about all your kid stuff getting wet or your groceries. Everything stays nice and dry. The doors open to 90 degrees, which is super great for loading in kiddos. Even with 2 car seats in the back and my 6'3" husband in the front, I still got plenty of room. The kids get their own screen so they can control the temperature, music, and play a show. Another great mom feature is all the space in this truck. I love this tray down here, which is perfect for a diaper bag or a purse. And check this out, a hidden drawer for anything important. But best of all, you look like a total badass driving your kids around in this.
And SpaceCat shared a video on X about Tesla's new auto park for vision-only non-USS Model Ys. At long last, so far I am pretty impressed. It's way better than the old auto park. Nice to see some progress in this area as well. And Porsche is having yet another recall because of fire risk. A short circuit in the battery increased the risk of fire. Owners are advised to only charge their vehicle to a maximum of 80% battery capacity until the repair has been completed. And Tesla hit another nice milestone in the UK as well, as Tesla delivered their 200,000th Tesla in the country. But New Zealand and Australia also hit a nice milestone with their 100,000 Teslas hitting the roads. And as Patel from Tesla also wrote on X, as he reposted Tesla's post about it, this is just the start for Tesla Australia and New Zealand. Australia and New Zealand are primed to be big winners in so many ways, from the electrifying everything. Big market in battery storage, residential solar, electric vehicle, and minerals powering the sustainable energy transition. 80% of our lithium is from Australia. Nice. And it seems like we will get another Starship test flight much faster than last time, as SpaceX is already making static test fires of the single Raptor engine using their header tank on Flight 4 Starship. As Elon also wrote, getting ready for Flight 4 of the Starship. Goal of this mission is for the Starship to get through max re-entry heating with all system functioning. Can't wait for another flight of this huge spacecraft. And Dave Sparks continued to make Cybertruck videos of his new beast, and this time around it's made a huge tug war versus a snowcat, and the Cybertruck pulled it. Very impressive. And the Tesla Dyna looks to come along nicely, as we could see on this flyover from 247 Tesla. And we saw a record 446 Tesla Megapack at their Lathrop factory, worth about $700 million. That was a 31% increase versus the previous record. Tesla's energy generation and storage business profits nearly quadrupled in 2023. Revenue was $6 billion last year, so it seems like they are heading for even more record-breaking numbers here in 2024. And we should really start to see the benefits in their financial during this year. And Ford is cutting their F-150 Lightning production workforce by 2/3 as the company continues to try and ramp manufacturing of electric vehicles and work towards profitability. The remaining third of the workers will remain on site. This amount to 700 production employees. The other 1,400 will either be transferred to Ford's Michigan assembly plant in Wayne, where the Bronco and Ranger are being built, or will take their retirement package that was agreed to during last year's intense union negotiations. So Ford is still struggling with the Lightning production ramp and the demand for Ford's EVs, as their CFO said. We definitely need to work to match capacity with demand. Demand is much slower than the industry expected when it comes to EVs, he said. Well, demand for EVs are at its all-time high, and last year the best-selling car in the world was electric, so Ford really need to look at their EVs and why the huge demand they talked about in 2022 has disappeared, and why the Tesla Model Y is outselling Ford's Mach-E 30-1. So it sounds weird to talk about weak EV demand when your competition is selling 30 times as many units. And before we end with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest supporters of this YouTube channel. My new YouTube member, Bobby Taylor. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. And since we might be heading into a bad quarterly report according to Wall Street, I thought it would be fun to get a little perspective and look back and see what some of the old but golden Tesla Qs had to say about Tesla in 2015. Mark Spiegel, December 2015. Wow, today both Faraday and Ford, Tesla is really getting effed. Well, Faraday is no more, and Ford, well, last year they sold just about 70,000 EVs. And Tesla has since this tweet not doubled their sales, no, their deliveries are up 36 times compared to this tweet. Oh, poor Tesla, if they only knew how to grow with all this competition that has been coming for Tesla for almost a decade. That is all we have time for in this news show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot so others can find it on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out as some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and access to all my research charts and spreadsheet also on bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.